All right, Mark O'Brien, let's see what you got with this film. Let's see what you got, buddy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today for another movie review. Niger alongside of the homie Lucas, and we're here to review the film The Righteous, which made its world premiere this year at Fantasia Film Festival 2021. Now, this film is from the actor Mark O'Brien from Radio Not and Arrival, and he brings us this, which I like to call a beautiful noir horror film with some horror, some drama, some thriller. But yeah, we're gonna break it down. And my first thing before we get into it is that I always say that when you do noir, I think it's a risk. It's a big risk to do so. And I thought this was done well visually. I liked it, but I wasn't overly sold by it. I don't know if I would have went this route with this film, but I do take. I appreciate the guts in doing so, because I think it is a very hard task to pull off, because I think noir already sets the tone, and for this film, which was completely character driven, yes, I feel like that's not a good balance here. Noir, I think, needs to have, because I feel like noir has an emotion to it. And if you're also building characters to kind of have emotional value, I feel like it's separating. It sometimes could be separating. I don't know if I really, I don't know if I feel like the cohesiveness between the noir, shooting the noir, and the character building.
So was it just the character building and the style that threw you off the most here?
I just don't feel like they were cohesive. I like, again, to be clear, again, anytime you're shooting in black and white, I feel like it's a huge risk, because it's a style of art that we don't see often, but it is appreciated, and there definitely is an audience for it. But I feel like when doing so, I feel like this has to be a level of storytelling where they go hand in hand. I feel like maybe the noir and the characters were kind of driving down two different alleys.
So was that the issue? Like, let's start off by saying, for myself, my opinion of this film, which I saw as a dramatic horror film. Yes, the style is more for film noir, but I didn't feel that when I was watching the film, because if I did, it would have brought me closer to like The Lighthouse, which I did not like as a movie. And this one didn't go that far with it. To me, it just came across as a really strong represented horror drama, and way more on a thrilling side than necessarily horror. Yeah. And I enjoyed the elements, because I enjoyed the quiet moments that this film gave you. Yeah. Like with the performances, with the back and forth of the two lead actors in here, and just the discussion they were having, because I think that's the key part with this film. This film is about a discussion. Yeah. It's about what's right, what's wrong, and the discussion you have based off of what's right and what's wrong. And to me, it worked on so many levels there. The issue, I'm not gonna say the only issue, the issue I had was the plot execution of the idea. Yeah. Like, if we would have went straight and made this a complete drama, I think this is a great, absolutely great film. Yeah. But when you put the elements of horror / thrilling elements in it, at times it felt like it was taken away from the overall story. Yeah. You definitely, that's what I've been trying to articulate. I just can't get it there. Yes, right. And that's why I say I feel like it's separate. It went down two alleys, because if this film had just been colorful, then I think, and also, I'm definitely way more compelled in saying this was a drama-felt film with some sprinkles of horror in there, and you add the color to it. I think it's a fantastic film. The noir is such a gutsy thing. It sets a tone. It sets a mood. It almost sets a desire to some sorts, and it didn't come hand in hand together. It sets an expectation. Yeah, because by filming in black and white, which, again, at times you can pull off, but of recent memory with black and white, whether it be Lighthouse, whether it be Malcolm and Marie, these are films that, to me, did not pull it off well. Yeah, because when you interject so many different elements into it already,
Yeah.
You're gonna confuse your audience with what the perception of the film should be. And I think that was the key part here. Like, again, if it was a straight drama, we would have got something like The Artist in black and white. Straight, you knew exactly what you were walking into. With a drama, I would have felt the same way. It's a point of this movie, without spoiling anything, where the main protagonist does something, and I'm like, oh, so he has superpowers. Okay. And it threw me off completely because it didn't feel natural, like it worked with what the film had already set up for you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought, again, I think for the complete structure of this film, it's a good film.
Yes.
I think that again, going to Mark, who again writes, directs, stars, and this is I guess, can we call Arrival a horror film?
No.
Okay. Also,
Arrival is not a horror film. It is a sci-fi drama, and it's barely sci-fi in parts. It's really a drama.
Very, very much so how I would almost categorize this. Either way, I'll just say that for what he's done for this film, I think he did a fantastic job in all categories. I just think a little bit out. Again, if I could remove the noir, then I thought this has just been one of my favorite films this year. But for the noir itself, I thought it was beautiful. So that's why it's hard to say, because I'm trying not to confuse people. But I like the noir if it just wasn't the story, and I like the story if it wasn't for the noir. Which is like the weirdest thing.
Well, so, to me, it's just the plot. Like, the plot isn't as clear cut as it needs to be in this type of style of cinema. Yeah. You can't attempt to shoot it where you're kind of gonna get people thinking and confused, and then confuse them even more with your plot, which at times you're like, okay, I kind of get what's going on, and then you're like, so that's what's going on, and then like, wait a minute, they got powers. Wait.
Yeah. So and I think that they did a lot into trying to add commentary or make people uncomfortable. I think is the easiest way to kind of go about with this. But it's really hard to kind of, you know what, from this point on, folks, let's jump into spoilers about this really, really quick. So give your point that you was going to make earlier. Let's talk about spoilers, and let's talk about the ending, then we'll go with that. So go with your point you were going at earlier about the character and the unpredictability.
Well, at one point, the character who is representative of Mark's son, I want to say, that's supposed to have been his son, but it's also, in my mind, it's supposed to be God. And it's a conflict of him doing something, and this character floats across the floor. And when he floats across the floor, I get confused, like, wait a minute, that's unnecessary. Like, it was such an unnecessary moment, but it was done for shock value. And in this type of film style, that's the last thing you need. It really brought me back to the moment, I want to say, in A Lighthouse, where Robert Pattinson, I think it was, when he like was beating a bird on the ground, and you're like, why are we doing that? It makes it leads nothing to the plot. And that's what that did for me in that element. Again, I love the way they play off the good and evil portions of this film, and the conflict of being a priest, pastor, and doing something against God's will, and fully believing if I do it, it's going to be a consequence that everyone must pay for.
Yeah,
because it kind of shows narcissism to even think everyone will have to pay for your mistake. It's a way of him clouding his own judgment and making excuses for not owning up to his mistake.
Brilliant point. This goes to the ending here. He comes out and he, I guess, has to make do with what he's done, as you said. And he looks up in the sky and he sees asteroids coming, which is biblically symbolic. Yeah, biblically symbolic for the apocalypse or the end. Because of what you've done, now everyone meets damnation. As you said, being accountable for his actions, now everyone else's pays for it. Which I thought, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I hope it was very clear, but maybe it wasn't, that at the end, and you're kind of like, well, I mean, after the floating thing was obviously like, okay, what's going on here? But now you're just like, well, asteroids now? Like, what's happening here? But yes, this is the symbolic nature of this is the end of the world because of the actions that were taken. And I also think another really good thing within this film and outside of accountability are things aren't just really what they seem. And, you know, I think that's for each his own in their interpretation about the church, members of the church, and in positions within the church. I'll just say that. So any other marks you want to give on this film?
None at all.
Okay. Well, folks, again, this is The Righteous. It's made its world premiere at Fantasia Film Festival this year. This is Sean O'Brien's new project as he stars, he written, and he directed this film. I believe it does not have distribution just yet. So for you having your chance to check it out, I just keep an eye out for it. I have a good confidence that this will get picked up. I think, again, because of his previous work, I think that this had a good outing based on the responses I've seen. And I think also because of the aesthetic of this film, I think there will be a niche to say, like, this is unique, this is different. And I think, you know, somebody's going to take a chance on it. So I expect this one to be one of the ones that gets picked up. You know, a lot of things have been picked up instantly, but like some things do have to like kind of marinate a little bit to kind of see what's the bidding war for. And I think this is going to be one that keep an eye out for it. I expect something to happen within a month or two. So, and I know everyone's very question is, well, how can I see it? Well, just keep an eye out for it because I would expect for it to be released soon. But definitely, if you have seen it, jump in the comments, folks. Let us know your thoughts about it. I ultimately want to know what was your thoughts about this film being shot in noir. I know that the promotional work didn't always, I mean, I didn't see the trailer. I don't know if there is a trailer, but I don't know if the promotional work convinced me enough that it was going to be so. But when I seen it, I was like, oh, okay, see what you got. And again, like I said, Mark, let's see what you got in this role. And again, I think for what he's done in this, I thought he did a good job in putting together this project. So, but yeah, folks, check it out. Jump in the comments, let us know, and stay tuned because we got more reviews and others coming very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.